every night at 2100, we did a roster check over the radio. 6 names, 6 answers, same as always. On March 14th, after the 6th of us said here, a 7th voice came through the channel, flat and unhurried. There is no 7th. There were 6 bunks, 6 ration cards, 6 names taped inside the galley door. I need to tell this in order, because none of it makes sense out of order, and some of it barely makes sense in it. My name doesn't matter for this. What matters is the 6 of us who wintered at Corbin Ross Station in 2019, 1,100 kilometers from McMurdo, past the last resupply flight until September. I was the mechanical systems tech. I kept the generators running and the water plant from freezing solid. 6 of us. Dr. Akaffer, our physician. Grant, station manager. Lund and Petrova on comms and glaciology. Marcus, our cook, and me every night at 2100. We did a roster check over the base radio. A habit left over from a manager 2 winters before us who liked things by the book. 6 names, 6 answers. Simple. I need to tell this in order, because if I don't, none of it will sound like anything happened at all. It'll sound like 6 tired people losing their minds in the dark for 4 months. Maybe that's still what it was. But I don't think so, and I was there for all of it. Starting the night in March, when a 7th voice answered the roll. March 14th. Outside, it was -61 with wind chill, full polar night, the kind of dark that has weight to it. Grant read the roster over Channel 2, same as always. Akaffer. Here Petrova, here Lund, here Marcus, here me, here. Then a 6th answer came through after mine, before Grant could close the channel. A voice, flat, almost bored. 7. Here. Grant looked at the handset like it had bitten him. There is no 7. There has never been a 7. 6 bunks, 6 ration cards, 6 names on the winter manifest, taped inside the galley door. We checked the frequency. Nobody else transmits on Channel 2 out here. No other station, no aircraft, nothing for 1,000 kilometers. Petrova said it was bleed-through, some atmospheric fluke off the Aurora. Grant wrote it in the log as unexplained radio interference and told everyone to get some sleep. Nobody slept much. I know I didn't. 2 days later, I was doing inventory in the gear locker, counting cold weather kits against the manifest for my monthly report. 6 kits issued. 6 parkas, 6 sets of thermal boots, 6 survival bags hung on 6 hooks. There was a 7th hook. I'd walked past it for 5 months without really seeing it, the way you stop seeing a crack in a ceiling. Somebody had built this locker for 7. I found a 7th kit folded at the bottom of a supply crate, unlabeled, the tags cut off clean. The boots inside were worn at the heel, not new stock, used. I brought it to Grant. He turned it over twice, said maybe it was a spare from the build crew, nothing more, and put it back in the crate himself. He didn't hang it back on the hook. That night at roll call, after my here, the same voice answered again. Grant didn't write it down this time. By the 2nd week of April, Marcus started talking about a man named Delgado. Said he'd worked the water plant with me all winter, quiet guy, played chess with Akafer, always burned the coffee. He said it like I should remember him too. I'd never heard the name. Neither had Lund. But Petrova frowned and said, slowly, that she thought she remembered a Delgado. And then, 20 minutes later, she was telling a story about him laughing at something in the galley, describing his face. Grant checked the personnel files. 6 names. No Delgado, not on this rotation, not on any previous one going back to when the station was built in 1987. I asked Marcus where the memory had come from. He got quiet, then angry, and said I was the one who was wrong, that I'd forgotten a man I'd worked beside every day. He believed it. I watched him believe it. The whiteout broke the last week of April. Clear sky, -70, still full dark. I went out to check the meteorological mast and found tracks in the snow crust leading away from the station, past the flag line, toward nothing. No structures out there. No fuel cache. Nothing for 400 kilometers but ice sheet. 6 sets of boots hung on 6 hooks in the gear locker. All 6 pairs accounted for dry, unused that day. I checked twice. The tracks were a 7th size, larger, deeper, spaced like a longer stride than any of us had, leading out and not back. I followed them 30 meters before my headlamp gave out. When it came back on, the tracks were gone. Not drifted over. Gone, like the snow past that point had never been walked on at all. That same day, the fuel log showed 4 liters more diesel burned overnight than the generator should use heating 6 people, 6 beds, 6 bodies worth of breath. There's a weather shed 40 meters from the main module, prefab steel, holding backup instruments, and a decommissioned radio sonde rig. Its padlock had been rusted shut since, before any of us arrived. Nobody had a key. Nobody needed one. On the 1st of May, the lock was open on the ground, snapped clean through the shackle, not picked, not cut, sheared. Inside, the frost on the walls wasn't frost. It had grown in ridges, thick as fingers, radiating from the back wall in a pattern like something had breathed on that one spot, over and over, for months, from the inside. There was a folding cot against that wall, a sleeping bag on it, zipped, shaped like someone was still lying in it. When I got close enough to touch it, it was warm. Not cold warm, not machine warm, body warm. I didn't unzip it. I want that on record. I closed the shed, told Grant, and haven't gone back since. June 1st, the coldest day of the winter, -78 outside. We did the roll call like always. Akafer here, Grant here, Petrova here, Lund here, Marcus here. Then it was my turn. I opened my mouth to say here, the word I had said every night for 111 nights straight. And what came out of me in my own voice, unmistakably my own voice, was 7. Here. Nobody on the radio reacted. Grant just moved to close the channel like nothing had happened. I sat there holding the handset, hearing it play back in my head, my own mouth, my own throat, a number that isn't mine. I asked Petrova afterward if she'd heard it. She said I'd said here, same as always, and looked at me like I was the strange one. I checked the automatic backup recorder in the comms shack that night, the one that logs every transmission independent of who's operating it. The recorder had my voice, clear as anything, saying 7. Here, at 2,103 and 41 seconds. I've listened to it 11 times since. It doesn't sound like a slip. It doesn't sound scared or confused or like a joke. It sounds like someone answering to a name they've always had. There are 5 weeks left before the first flight can land. I've stopped going near the weather shed. I've stopped correcting Marcus when he mentions Delgado, because 2 nights ago I caught myself almost remembering him too. A face, half formed, gone before I could hold on to it. Tonight is roll call again. I don't know which number I'm going to say. I need to tell this in order, in case whoever finds these logs after September needs to know when it started. It started at 6. I don't know what it ends at. If you want to hear what I find in the log before the plane lands, subscribe. I'll tell you everything in order if I still remember it right.